Okay, our next talk is called BlonDe, an automatic evaluation metric for document level machine translation by Yuchen, Zhang, Tianyu Liu, Shuming Dongdong Zhang, Jian, Haoyang Huang, Rico, Sennrich, Mrinmaya, Sachan, Cotterell, and Ming, Zhou, and Eleanor will be giving the talk.
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Eleanor from ETH Zurich, and I'm going to be introducing an automatic evaluation metric for document level machine translation called BlonDe. It's a joint work with Microsoft and University of Zurich. So let's get started. So the goal of machine translation has always been to match the quality of human translation. And the ultimate question is always like, has machine translation achieved human parity? And the answer is sort of yes, thanks to our beloved friend transformer, but only at sentence level. At document level, it's a big no. Why is that the case? So like document translation is more than sentence by sentence translation. Like texts have properties beyond those of their individual sentences, the so-called discourse property. Like for instance, like if you're translating from a pronoun dropping language such as Japanese to a non-pro dropping language such as English, as shown here, and if you're translating sentences in isolation, then it's highly possible that you're going to get a translation with a wrong gender pronoun like she here. So to highlight the limitation of a sentence-based translation, let's take a look at the discourse consists of 4 sentences. First, the consistency of named entity is of great importance in translation quality. Second, like grammatical consistency also matters a lot. If you're translating from a morphologically speaking rich language to a morphologically poor language, like in this Chinese to English case, it's more tense consistency. And in English to French or English to German translation, it's gender consistency. And in terms of ellipses, like in addition to the omission of pronoun we've discussed previously, the omission of discourse markers is also quite common in many languages. Like this slide is a summary of the discourse phenomena that could cause a good translation to be wrong in context, namely consistency, ellipses, and ambiguity. So like while all the aforementioned discourse phenomena can be key consideration to human readers, they have little impact on ungrounded statistics of translation. So like standard automatic metrics like BLEU cannot capture discourse level nuances because of this. In order to overcome this limitation, we kind of propose BlonDe. As shown here, while the second system MTB is clearly a better system than the first system MTA, like BLEU actually reads MTA higher than MTB, while their BlonDe scores reflect the correct ranking in translation quality. So how does BlonDe treat this? BlonDe takes into account discourse phenomena in a super simple yet effective way. Like we define something called discourse representation, which is literally the concatenation of different discourse phenomena, namely entity, tense, pronoun, and discourse marker. And we refer to those discourse phenomena as categories, and each discourse category has separate features. So the simplest operationalization of discourse representation would be just count, just like how the ungrounded statistics are calculated in BLEU. Once we have the discourse representation of both reference and the system output, we could calculate similarity between these two representations for each discourse category. Again, the simplest way to operationalize similarity measurement is the clip counts as in BLEU. Then we sum up the counts of all sentences in the discourse, and then calculate the recall, precision, and F1 measure of the aggregated counts. The same statistics are calculated for each discourse category, and then they are concatenated. We then use a simple weighted averaging approach to combine the scores of all categories into a single score, that is BlonDe. So intuitively, BlonDe distills the document level translation quality from sentence level 1. However, like BlonDe itself is not like sufficient to provide a comprehensive MT evaluation because it does not really take into account like sentence level adequacy, as example shown here. So in our final metric, BlonDe, we augment the set of categories and features to include n-grams, like by treating each n-grams as a category and each span of the n tokens as a feature for each corresponding n-gram category. So finally, the same weighted averaging approach is adopted to get a final BlonDe score. What if I want to create a new categories? So like BlonDe is very easy to generalize. Like for instance, it would be easy to incorporate like human annotations by adding user-defined categories and treating annotated spans as feature. It is also worth noting that while I've been illustrating BlonDe only using one reference for simplicity, like BlonDe also provides like support for multiple references by like aggregator over multiple references. So here comes our experiments. We conduct experiments on a newly constructed corpus called BWB, bilingual web book, which is a large-scale document-level parallel corpus that consists of web novels in English. So, like to the best of our knowledge, this is the largest parallel corpus in the market, and also contains rich discourse phenomena because it consists of web novels. So here comes our main resource. Like there are two main takeaways. First, like BlonDe is a lot more selective than BLEU for document level machine translation. Like second, BlonDe exhibits a clearer preference for human over machine outputs. And this heat map kind of shows a pairwise Pearson correlation between different metrics. So like this is an indicator of a homogeneity of different metrics. As shown here, while sentence level metrics like BLEU, Meteor, and Bronze have like strong correlations with each other, like BlonDe correlates as well with those matrix, which kind of indicate like BlonDe provides information beyond sentence level. And we also did some human evaluation. Like as shown in these two plots, like first we can see like BlonDe obtains the highest correlation with human assessment at both sentence level and the document level, which is kind of surprising because like which kind of indicates the discourse phenomena we considered in BlonDe is also kind of beneficial for sentence level translation. And of course, BlonDe correlates better with human assessment when context is taken into account. And another very interesting observation is like BlonDe also correlates well with fluency assessment. Like even though it is in essence still a reference-based metric, so like one possible explanation for this unexpected positive result is like maybe because BlonDe tracks like span categories that directly relate to cohesion and coherence. So to conclude, like document level machine translation is very challenging because of the lack of training data and the lack of evaluation metric. So like in this work, like we propose BlonDe and automatic evaluation metric for document level machine translation. And we also constructed a large scale document level parallel corpus called BWB. And both the metric and corpus are publicly available, like in our GitHub repo. And the BlonDe package is also available on Pipe. And it's actually in exactly the same style as Secret BLEU, so it should be like super easy to use. Another thing I want to hit on before wrapping up is like we are actually still working on this project, and like for the BWB data set, we're doing like some annotation on a task set. For more detail, you can refer to our paper. And so like I strongly like invite you to use this data set if you're developing a discourse level machine translation system. Because first, like we have like BWB has like enough sufficient training data, in-domain training data. And second, we have like a human annotated test set to like for different specific discourse phenomena. So here's the link to the paper, and here's the link to a GitHub repo. That's it. Like I'm ready for questions.
Okay, thanks. We actually have quite a bit of time for questions, so please come on up to the mic or put them in the chat.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for the great talk and the interesting idea. I wanted to ask if you have thought about possibly using this with some modifications, potential modification to other generation tasks like creative generation, dialogue generation, potentially without a reference? And how do you think this can be generalized in?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I'm actually like thinking about it quite a lot because I feel like for coherence and consistency, like it's not really like about like machine translation. It's like a common issue like in all the generation problems. Like for example, like we are tracking like this kind of discourse phenomena, which could also be very important in other generation tasks. So like it will be possible to generalize to other generation tasks. And I mean, to be honest, like BlonDe is still a reference-based metric, right? So like I'm just thinking a lot about how to say do reference-free like evaluation in terms of coherence and consistency. So it would be great, quite interesting to generalize it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Cool.
Hi, thanks for the talk. I really like the idea of doing document level evaluation, but I was surprised that your baseline is BLEU. So there's a number of recent papers on MT evaluation. So Comet, Prism, BLEU score, Easy, like there's a lot of recent work in metrics, and I didn't see comparisons to any of those. So have you compared to those? And
yeah, we actually compare it to other like embedding-based metric, but I was just like using BLEU because it's like still the most standard metric. But we actually have results for other metrics. We compare 11 metrics in the paper, and we also like by the time we did research, there wasn't really like Comet wasn't really a thing. But we actually like also had like results for Comet, feel free to check out our repo, like I believe like.
Are they in the paper?
Comet is not in the paper, but like we actually have results for Comet, which is like it's kind of similar. Like say basically I actually have like the results somewhere here. Let's say like we have some embedding like base metric and does not really have like the small or like a beautiful like exponential trends as like BLEU has. And also like another key difference between the embedding based metric and like training based metric and BlonDe is like BlonDe is still like super simple. It's still really just extension like of BLEU. So that's why I'm like saying BLEU a lot because it's like it does not really involve training. So it's pretty much standardized. Yeah. Does that answer?
Couple more questions behind you.
Yeah, thanks.
And over there.
Okay, hi. Sorry, it's not really a question, but more of an ask. So are you planning to release also the DA scores on the document level? That
which source?
I'm assuming you computed the direct assessment scores for at the document level. Are you planning to release that on GitHub?
Like the human assessment?
Yeah.
It's not there yet, but yeah.
I mean, I saw the repository. It's not there, but yeah, are you planning to release that too?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay. That would be great, actually. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for the talk. This is Alesh from MSource. I was wondering, since you're probably using quite a lot of natural language processing tools to compute BlonDe, right? Like the named entity recognition, tagging, parsing. What's the kind of extent of language support that BlonDe currently?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's very good. And now like we're only like provide support for English. So basically we can do all the language pairs as well as the target language English. We are actually working on extending BlonDe to German at this moment. And like if you guys want to like contribute, like welcome, feel free to drop me a line and we can like kind of include more language like in like our package.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I get a chance to quick. Oh, there's 30 seconds now. I'll take my question offline. Thank you very much. Let's give another round of applause, please.